you're finally ready to write that amazing book that you've been given, the one meant for so much more beyond the book, but a God-given purpose, a book to impact the world. And yet it feels terrifying, overwhelming, daunting. In fact, just sitting down and trying to write is like, what is even going on? How can I even do this? Where do I even start? Hi, I'm Caitlin Silva, and I work with Christian mompreneurs just like you who have been wanting to write a book and yet have been stuck, held back by all of those doubts and fears. I help them to finally get clarity on their book content, confidently write and publish all the way to bestseller, and use that book as a tool, not just for business, but for impact and for authority and for legacy, for really growing the kingdom of God. While I have formerly written 11 books and counting in the last few years amidst working and little ones at home, that doesn't mean that I always have it put together. It's easy to show up on these videos and give you guys great tips and tell you how to do it, but I have to often take a step back and revisit my own advice. And so I want to show you how I actually do this and what that looks like in this video. So when I was actually writing my first best-selling book, I had a couple of books under my belt already, and people came to me asking, Caitlin, how do you do it? I don't understand. You've got these little ones and you're working. How are you writing? And I thought, instead of repeating myself over and over again, which I was doing, I'll put it in a book. Because why not, right? So that's whenever I decided to actually write Become a Time Master. Inside this book, I put down the same principles that I use in order to make the most of my time and be really clear and honest about where my time is going so that I can prioritize what I want to accomplish and ultimately get done what I need to without cramming more into my day or packing more onto my plate, right? Sometimes you just need to take a step back and really assess and reprioritize, right? So along with this book, whenever you get it, it comes with an action guide that allows you to really implement the things from the chapters and put things in place. So you can write those things down, you can really get that clarity, and you can make those shifts that allow you to really get your time in order. The great thing I love about it is that it's designed for people like me who are moms and have very little time to really try to do this type of stuff. It's time efficient, it's short, it's to the point, and it has the exact applicable things that you need to do. And it's something that I use. So whether you only have 15 minutes out of the day or even out of the week to plan everything and figure out what you're going to do, it allows you to do that. It has exactly what I have inside of it. So I recently had to take my own advice and pick up my own book and pick up the action guide and go through it myself. And I had to write down and do the exercises and implement that and really just be like, okay, where's my time going? How am I actually implementing this practice, right? I realized that I was letting my time get away from me between the kids and homeschooling and other responsibilities. And by the end of the day, I was just like, I'm exhausted, right? I was just going to bed, passing out, and then getting up the next day and doing it all over again. And I wasn't being intentional about where things were going and when. And so I just gave myself some grace. I reevaluated, and I started implementing some of the little steps that I could do to just get a couple of things, a couple of steps toward those long-term goals. It's easy to think about those big goals that you have and get really excited about your ideas and feel like, oh, if I could only just get a few hours out of my day to accomplish all of it at once, I could get it done and finally accomplish that goal. Or even out of the week, right? A few hours out of the week. If I could just have one day to myself to do it, I could get it all done, right? But that's just not reality. The reality is taking those little steps here and there with intention and purpose, one step at a time toward that bigger goal. And then over time, you finally see those things accomplished, right? So maybe that's 15 minutes out of your day. Maybe that's 1 hour or a couple hours on your day when someone else is off work and can help you with the kiddos, or whatever that looks like for you, right? But it's taking that consistent, small amounts of steps forward that allows you to ultimately reach your goal. So having said that, where is your time going? And what does your day look like? How can you take a step back, give yourself some grace, and see where you can be more intentional about taking those small amounts of time that allow you to take one step forward toward those big goals? If you're not sure, or you would like to be able to have those exercises to really think more deeply and implement these practices, I'd love for you to get the Become a Time Master book and, of course, the action guide that goes with it. So if you would like to do that, go to becomeatimemaster.com. You can actually get it for just $1, and the action guide is going to come along with that if you like. Or if you want to get the print versions, there's an option to do that as well. So you pick what's going to work best for you, especially if you like handwriting things out. I'd recommend doing that. So again, go to becomeatimemaster.com. I'll also link that below for you guys. Highly recommend checking that out to help you really understand where your time is going and find those opportunities during your day where you can have more intention and take those small steps forward.